Well, good evening. Welcome to worship tonight as God gathers us for holding evening prayer and our worship here this evening. A warm welcome to those who are watching at home. Just a couple of announcements before we begin. Join us next Wednesday, March 25th. It'll be our final Lenten Wednesday worship, and Pastor Yerold Soto from our partner congregation, St. Paul's Lutheran Church in South Minneapolis, he is going to join us. So we invite you to worship at 6:30. The venture crew, the scout crew, they will be serving a pasta bake beforehand with vegetarian, gluten-free options. So that will be the dinner before next week. Then we go into Holy Week, and Palm Sunday worship is at 9 o'clock. And 11 o'clock, as usual, Pastor Steve Thomason is coming back from Luther Seminary and will be preaching on Palm Sunday and walking us through that. Monday, Thursday worship services are scheduled for noon and 7 o'clock, April 2nd, and Good Friday worship is at 7 on April 3rd. And the evening services will be live streamed. And then Easter worship services will be at 7:30 and at 9 and 11 o'clock. And the last two services will be live streamed. There will be a prayer vigil that will be happening on Monday, Thursday, and a chance for the congregation to sign up, pray here or pray at home. There's a table in the gathering area that you can learn more or to sign up after worship tonight. And then this note, please don't forget to order your Easter flowers online or at the information desk this evening. We're behind on orders because of our snow day that we had on Sunday. And so honoring and remembering your loved ones in this special way, it's really a wonderful tradition. And so those flowers are $14, begonias and lilies, and you can do that online or here with us. Tables in the gathering area, as we said, for the prayer vigil, Monday, Thursday, and then you can sign up to tour the New Family Promise Guest House on April 7th. David Fry was here, executive director, a few weeks ago, shared that building is almost complete. They have occupancy, and soon we'll have an opportunity of how we can be a blessing with the guests that will be there, and you can review both those opportunities in the gathering area. So tonight, let's just take some quiet right now as we come to worship, and a moment of silence, and then we will rise together for holding evening prayer as the candle comes down the aisle.
Please rise. Jesus Christ, you are the light of the world. The light no darkness can overcome. Stay with us now, for it is evening, and the day is almost over. Let your light scatter the darkness and shine within your people here. Joyous light of heavenly glory, loving glow of God's own face, you who sing creation's story, shine on every land and grace. Now as evening falls around us, we shall raise our songs to you. God of daybreak, God of shadows, come and light our hearts anew. In the stars that grace the darkness, in the blazing sun of dawn, in the light of peace and wisdom, we can hear your quiet song. Love that fills the night with wonder, love that warms the weary soul.
sing our thanks to God.
It is right to give God thanks and praise.
Blessed are you, Creator of the universe. From old you have led your people by night and day. May the light of your Christ make our darkness bright. For your word and your presence are the light of our pathways, and you are the light and life of all creation. You may be seated. If you've not been to this service before here at Faith Lutheran Church, this next song we sing in a round. We'll sing our first one all together, and then the first group will be led by Ken and Nancy, and that group is right down the middle, all of these people over here. Then the second group will be led by Deb and myself, and that's this group here, and we're the second group to go. We'll sing all together, and then we'll split. If you're looking at the screen, the first group follows the blue line, and the second group follows the gold line. And if you're online, you can sing, switch parts back and forth, but please sing with us. Everyone. Let my prayer rise up like incense before you, the lifting up of my hands as an offering to you. Oh God, I call to you. Oh God, I call to you. Oh, hear me, cause I lift my voice when I cry to you. Let my prayer rise up. Let my prayer rise up like incense before you, the lifting up of my hands as an offering to you. Keep watch within me, God. Keep watch within me, God. Light of my heart, make the light of your love be burning bright. Let my prayer rise up. Let my prayer rise up like incense before the lifting up of my hands as an offering to you. Praise to the God of all. Praise to the God of all. Creator to Christ and the praise be to Christ and the Spirit of Let my prayer rise. Let my prayer rise up like incense before the lifting up of my offering as an offering to you.
May our prayers come before you, O God, as incense, and may your presence surround and fill us, so that in union with all creation we might sing your praise and your love in our lives. Amen. Our scripture tonight comes from Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. From Psalm 100. Well, tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker tonight, who's Bruce Phelps, a name that is deeply respected here in Minnesota's choral and music education community. Bruce has dedicated decades of his life shaping musicians and inspiring singers, really of all ages. He served as a longtime choral director at Anoka High School, and where he built a tradition of excellence, and countless students discovered both their musical abilities and their confidence. And beyond the high school classroom, Bruce has also shared his expertise with future educators beyond that high school classroom with choral methods at St. Olaf College and Luther College and Concordia College in Moorhead. Been an active leader within the American Choral Directors Association of Minnesota, contributing to festivals and conventions across the state, and directed community ensembles like the Northern Lights Chorale and the Two Rivers Chorale. And it's been a real privilege for our congregation to partner with Bruce and to have him here with his work and his involvement of the Memory Lane Singers. And what truly, I think, when I first met Bruce years ago, what truly I thought set Bruce apart was not just his experience, but it was his passion and it was his faith for music and for education, but the power of singing to bring people together. And so tonight we are going to have a video overview before Bruce comes and speaks, and that video overview will explain a little bit more of the work that Memory Lane Singers has been about. You'll see a commercial for a concert embedded in the video, but that's already passed, so we don't have to worry about that. But before let's play the video now, and then we'll welcome him.
On Monday mornings, music can be heard inside Faith Lutheran Church.
I want you to have fun with a piece.
As the artistic director of the Memory Lane Singers, Bruce Phelps designed this choir over 7 years ago for people with memory issues.
It's not so much the music, it's about the people.
As a nonprofit community choir, its focus is to help those with memory issues, really anyone who wants to sing, to get out of their shell.
Right now we have about 10 couples, one of which has the memory issues. We have about 40 people here, and a lot of them are volunteers who just like to come and work with senior citizens or people with memory issues.
There are no auditions or membership requirements to be in the choir.
I sing a tenor voice.
81-year-old Kathy Quaid found the Memory Lane Singers 3 years ago.
We came here because my husband had dementia.
Kathy says her husband Pat enjoyed the singing. Married for 58 years, he passed away in March.
He enjoyed the laughter, he enjoyed the singing, and he never left without a smile on his face.
And that's why music is the key, because the music is the last thing to leave the mind.
The songs they sing are the music they remember from their youth.
When we started, it was to provide some enjoyment for my wife who had, memory issues.
Since the loss of his wife, Marla's 91-year-old bass, Charlie Toughlin says the choir has become his support group.
It's fun singing in practice. It's fun singing in the concert, too.
The Memory Lane Singers are preparing for their holiday concert, A Christmas to Remember. It will take place at Faith Lutheran Church on Sunday, December 7th at 3 p.m.
We don't charge admission, they're all free, but we do ask for donations.
Let's warmly welcome up Bruce.
I had to write my speech because I was afraid I'd forget something. First of all, thank you, Pastor Kevin, for your kind words. and for inviting me to talk tonight about Memory Lane Singers. Memory Lane Singers is a choir specifically designed for people with memory issues, their caregivers, and volunteers who enjoy working with senior citizens. And we've been very blessed to have some fantastic volunteers, many of whom worship right here at Faith Lutheran. So I have a question for you. How many of you know of a family member or a friend of a friend who has dealt with dementia? Raise your hands. Look around, everybody. Look at the numbers of people. So dementia is a general form for a decline in mental abilities, such as language, problem solving, and thinking, which all interfere with daily life. It is caused by damage to brain cells and from the diseases like Alzheimer's and some other vascular conditions beyond the normal aspects of growing old. So what are the symptoms? Well, having trouble finding words as they speak. If I hesitate once in a while, I always call it, it's not memory, it's retrieval. It's all up there. Another symptom may be coming is when people become confused and disoriented. They can't remember names of family and friends. And imagine what it would be like to walk in and see your spouse and she or he would not recognize you. Personality changes. They can range anywhere from withdrawal to anger and hostility. They become entirely dependent on someone, and it's often their spouses. And they lack confidence when they're around people. And who wouldn't? You know, if you were dealing through this, would you want people to know that you have this? Would you want to? No, you wouldn't. So there are many kinds of needs in our society today. Housing needs, medical care, hunger, mental health, just to name a few. Memory Lane focuses on people with memory issues. Our mission is to provide a loving, caring, and safe environment in which people will feel comfortable, loved, and part of the family. In Matthew and Mark, we hear Jesus saying, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." In the book of John, Jesus says to his followers, "A new commandment I give to you. Love one another. As I have loved you, you must love one another." So who is this neighbor that Jesus was talking about? Well, as you listen to Jesus and read about his sayings, you will note that Jesus never says anything about race, religion, social status, gender, physical condition, political affiliation, nationality, hungry or poor. They are all our neighbors. So, how can we show people love who have dementia? And that's a tricky one. What do you say to people? And that was a question I first had. How do I communicate with people? And over time I've learned, talk to them. Look them in the eye. Make your sentences short. And if you're going to ask questions, ask yes or no questions. For you see, if you were to ask them, "What do you want for dinner tonight?" they would have trouble processing that. But if you say, "Which would you rather have tonight? Sauerkraut and chocolate cake or turkey?" Well, I hope they would pick the turkey because, well, anyway. but by giving them choices, we can communicate with them. Touch them. You know, when my mother and father died, I wanted to hug them. My folks were not huggers. I needed to hold their hand. I needed to touch them. And my mother had the toughest grip I've ever had. My goodness, she broke fingers in my hands sometimes. But when she was dying on that bed, that's what she needed to have. Well, touch is a form of communication. And if you're careful about it, you know, take a look. How is a person reacting? But you may even come to the level of the hug. And I love hugs. And I give them every time I have the opportunity. So, and one more thing. Avoid testing their memory. Don't sit down with, hey, do you remember where? No, they won't. But if you sit down and reminisce with them, and you look at photos and you tell stories, and you play music, and that's where Memory Lane Singers comes in. The first rehearsal I had with them, I sat down and I played You Are My Sunshine, and they all sang. They could hardly even talk, some of them, but they all sang. Amazing Grace, another one. They all sang. Where did that come from? They have trouble remembering names and places and whatever, but still they can sing those songs. Well, as was mentioned earlier in the service, music is the last thing that leaves the mind. It's sort of like a key. Music is the key that opens up that state of memory only if just for a few moments. And what a blessing that is for those folks. You should see when they start to sing songs they know, their face lights up. They've got this glowing smile about them. And you can't help but just love them when you see that. I have a couple of stories to tell you about what my experiences have been. When I was at Lord of Life, we took the choir over to Stony River, which is a facility for seniors. And it had all levels of memory people. And the choir sang, did a sing-along. And we sang in a kind of a lobby area. And down there, this was a hallway down here. And then here was a wall, and here was a wall. And one particular afternoon, they brought down a gentleman in a wheelchair who was totally non-responsive. He had his head bowed like this. He didn't smile. He didn't react. In fact, the caregivers had to do everything for him. He was that far along. So he sat there, and we sang some hymns, and we're having a good time. And I kind of looked over at him all the time to see what was going on. And all of a sudden, we did How Great Thou Art. And this huge tear rolled down his cheek. And I knew that music had reached him. Anybody remember the name Darby Nelson? He was a writer, legislator, teacher, traveler. He went all over the state of Minnesota, the rivers and lakes, and wrote books about them. Darby's wife, Jerry, brought Darby to Memory Lane Singers. And when Darby came in, he was like a deer in the headlights. Nothing. He sat there the first afternoon or morning where we had a rehearsal, and he just sat there. He didn't respond, didn't react, he just sat there. Happened that way about 2 weeks, but in the third week, I saw him smile just a little bit. And I went over to him, I said, Darby, I saw you smiling today. And he got this sheepish grin on his face. About 3 weeks later, I watched him again, and his lips were just moving a little bit. And I went over, I said, hey, Darby, I saw you singing today. And he smiled, and he smiled. A few weeks later, he came up to me after a rehearsal, and he said, Bruce, I want you to know that this is the best part of my week. I look forward to Monday morning all the time. And this wasn't about me. This was about the Memory Lane Singers, about the companionship, the fellowship, the family that we have built and put together. Patrick Quaid, you saw the Quaids on the screen. Patrick was a teacher at St. Olaf College in the drama department. And his wife, Kathy, brought him to Memory Lane Singers. And Patrick, he tried to sing along as much as he could, was doing fine, but he progressively got worse, to the point where Kathy had to put him in a wheelchair, load him in a car, bring him here to Faith Lutheran, take out the wheelchair, bring him in here, take his coat off, and wheel him into the room, into the quiet room. And she did that faithfully for weeks. One Monday morning, they left their music on the coat rack out here, and I picked it up. And I called Kathy and I said, I've got your music. She said, oh, I'll come and pick it up. I said, no, I'm coming over your way. I'll drop it off. And so I stopped at their house. Kathy invited me in, and we talked for a second, and I could see Patrick. He was sitting on the other end of the room in a chair with a blanket wrapped around him. And as Kathy and I talked, I had kind of had my back to him. And then all of a sudden I turned and looked, and he was walking down towards me. And he was, I didn't know he could walk. I've only seen him in a wheelchair recently. But he walked down toward me, and he came right up to me. And I just immediately went and gave him a hug. And the biggest smile from his face. He passed away a few months later. But I'll never forget that moment that I had with Patrick. 7 spouses of people with memory issue who have passed away still come to Memory Lane Singers. And if you ask them why, they will gladly tell you that because this group, this collaboration of people is just like family to them. Every Monday morning we get together. We sing a song, and then we rehearse for a while because we do concerts. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then we show PowerPoint presentations. And some of them are funny, some of them are inspirational, some of them are awesome, beauty of nature. And then I have a series of 3-minute videos that are kind of humorous. And we use those type of activities in the middle of our rehearsal because people can't sit for 90 minutes and sing, no way. And we have a good time doing it. But we have one extra activity that I'm very proud of. It is called, I'm losing my part here. It is a family, it is something about, well, I'll tell you what it is. My retrieval system is not working right now, see? But I'll tell you what it is. I ask the spouse for pictures of their spouse, and they send them to me, and I put them together in a PowerPoint presentation. I also ask that spouse if they would write a story of their spouse's life. And then we bring up that person, and we put them right here in front. The screen sits behind, and the other spouse reads the narrative. And for that 5-10 minutes, he's king. He's the most important person in the room. And you know what? He recognizes that, or she does. And so I got a call one night from the wife of one of our members, and she said, Bruce, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for my husband. All he's doing is singing around the house, and he's so excited. And he is so excited he can't wait for Monday mornings. Example of what this group is like. One morning, we were rehearsing in the choir room, and if you know the choir room, it's at the end of the hallway. And I was directing, and I was looking down the hall, and all of a sudden, a group of about 10, 15 senior citizens came walking down the hallway. And I thought, what do we have here? So I went out and found out that these were all people from a nursing home. And when Memory Lane Singers people found out, they jumped out of their chairs. They went and welcomed those people, gave them hugs and sat them down alongside of them. And then we shared a time of coffee and cookies afterwards with them too. The only bad thing was that you have to have a caregiver to bring you and take you home. Well, I'm an advocate of music. I have seen too often how powerful music can be. And you know that you cannot be angry and sing at the same time? It's just not possible. That's what music, it takes that all away. And I always say, I wish our legislators would sing in a choir. Think of this. Republicans and Democrats working together to create something beautiful. I have learned that Memory Lane Singers is more about the people than it is the music. We've developed a family atmosphere that welcomes everyone and supports each other and gives us a sense of belonging. I would like to make 2 commercials. First of all, we are looking for more people to come and join us. We feel that we have a gift to give you, and that gift is a gift of love. And so if you know of anybody who is in need of care in this way, and it's not only good for the person with memory issues, it's also a blessing for their caregiver. It gives them some time that they can just sit back and relax and not have to worry. And the second one is, we have a concert here on Saturday, May 2, at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we would like to invite all of you to come and see just exactly what these people do. We're going to do a radio show. Some of the old songs and commercials, and we have a sports announcer, and we have a weather forecast. I mean, it's just going to be a delightful, fun time. And the people in the group love this, and our audiences have responded with generosity well beyond words. So, this is a love community, and we are always end our rehearsals with a song called May There Always Be Music. I have some friends of mine from the Memory Lane Singers here tonight. I'd like them to stand, and I'd like you to sing the last song of our every rehearsal. Would you do that with me? May there always be sunshine. May there always be laughter. May there always be music. May there always be love. Let us always remember how we all sang together. Let us always remember we are all friends in love. Let us always remember we are all friends. Thank you very much.
Well, Bruce mentioned the importance of music to memory, and a part of our communication that never leaves us because it is eternal is our communication with God, and the word we use to describe that is prayer. That is why we are going to be focusing on prayer during Holy Week. You heard about the prayer vigil on Maundy, Thursday. We are also having a congregational prayer campaign for 7 days of Holy Week, covering the 7 petitions of the Lord's Prayer. You will receive, if you receive our constant contact, you will receive a daily devotion and guidance in that prayer. And if you are a parent, we are encouraging families with very little children to participate in this by saying the Lord's Prayer together each day. We are so thankful for the work of the Holy Spirit in our lives and in our community, and we want to thank you for your generosity that sustains the ministry and mission here at Faith. And now we will take this evening's offering.
When memory fades and recognition falters, when eyes we love grow dim and minds confused, speak to our souls of love that never alters. Speak to our hearts by pain and fear abused. O God of life and healing peace, empower us with patient courage by your grace infused. As frailness grows and youthful strengths diminish, in weary arms that worked their earnest fill, your aging servants labor now to finish their earthly tasks as fits your mysteries will. We grieve their waning, yet rejoice believing your arms unwearied shall uphold us till. Your arms unwearied shall uphold us still. Within your spirit, goodness lives unfading. The past and future mingle into one. All joys remain unshadowed, light pervading. No valued deed will ever be undone. Your mind enfolds all finite acts and offerings. Held in your heart, our deathless life is one. When memory fades and recognition falters, your arms unwearied shall uphold us still. The light shines in the darkness. Nazareth to a woman whose name was Mary. The angel said to her,
Rejoice, so highly favored, for God is with you. You shall bear a child, and his name shall be Jesus, the chosen one of God Most High. And Mary said, I am the servant of my God. I live to do your will. My soul proclaims your greatness, O God, and my spirit rejoices in you. You have looked with love on your servant here, and blessed me all my life through. Great and mighty are you, O Holy One. Strong is your kindness evermore. You favor the weak and lowly one, humbling the proud of heart. You have cast the mighty down from their thrones, and uplifted the humble of heart. You have filled the hungry with wondrous things, and left the wealthy no part. Great and mighty are you, O faithful one. Strong is your justice, strong your love. As you promised to Sarah and Abraham, kindness forevermore. My soul proclaims your greatness, O God, and my spirit rejoices in you. You have looked with love on your servant here, and blessed me all my life through. Mercy, hold us in love.
In peace we pray to you.
Mercy, hold us in love.
For peace and salvation we pray to you.
God of mercy, hold us in love. For all of your servants who live out your gospel. God of mercy, hold us in love. For all who govern that justice might guide them. God of mercy, hold us in love.
For all those who labor in service to others,
God of mercy, hold us in love.
grant weather that nourishes all of creation.
God of mercy, hold us in love.
Help us, comfort us all of our days.
Keep us, hold us, gracious
Great and merciful God, source and ground of all goodness and life, give to your people the peace that passes all understanding, and the will to live your gospel of mercy and justice. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. God, remember us in your love and teach us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Let us bless our God.
Praise and thanks to you.
May God Creator bless us and keep us. May Christ be ever light for our lives. May the Spirit of love be our guide and path for all of our days.
Go in peace, serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.